I got a story about Reverend Edward Wheatley, who I met in Stacy, Minnesota back in 2008. I was an estimator for a construction company back then, and I was called to his church on Genesis Avenue in Stacy, Minnesota to measure the roof and give him an estimate. It was pretty big. There was leaks all over the place, I remember, and gave him the estimate, and he wanted our company to do the work, and we did the work, and I got my commission, and then moved away, went down to Texas for a couple of years, and then I ran into him again. What happened was I worked for a different construction company, and when I was headed to Black Bear Casino to a Poison concert, my truck all of a sudden started breaking down in Forest Lake, which is not that far away from Stacy, where his church was. So my truck was still running, but it sounded like like it was missing a leg, just running really rough. Let's put it that way. So I pulled up in front of the auto parts store, and I get out and I open the hood, and I hear a man's voice saying, "It sounds like you blew a spark plug." And I recognized that voice. It didn't take long. And I asked him, "Are you the pastor at the church in Stacy?" And he said, "Yes, yes." And I said, "Remember me? I'm Chez. I was the one that got your roof approved on your church, and we did the work." And he's like, "Yeah, I remember you. Are you still doing the same thing?" I said, "Yeah, but for a different construction company." He goes, "Give me a card. I got another house for you to look at here in on Lake Avenue in Forest Lake. It's the old governor's house. Now it's a woman's shelter house, and the roof could be bad, and probably some siding. If there's any storm damage on it, you could help me put the claim and do the work. I'd love to have you do that one too." So I gave him a card, told him that I'm on my way to a Poison concert at the casino in Black Bear, and I need to figure this out. And he said he looked in there and he saw the the spark plug end like shot out, and the bottom end of the plug is still in there, and the plug wire was kind of dangling. And he said, all you got to do is go inside and get this size socket and maybe a ratchet and stuff, and you'll be able to get that thing out of there. And I told him, "Well, thanks, Ed. I'll be seeing you probably Monday." So I went and got the tools, and I got it out and fixed it in no time, and I was on my way to the concert. So the following Monday, I went to that house on Lake Avenue, and sure enough, it had storm damage from roof to bottom. Gave the estimates and helped him put the insurance claim, got a storm date. I met the insurance adjuster out there not long later, and it got approved. Our crews did the roof and the siding, and it was like $15,000 or something like that. It was pretty big. And so years go by. This is the last time I had seen him was 2011. So in 2016, see the date there, when he died was May 6th. It was 3 days before that. The 6th is a Friday. I called him 3 days before that. I was in my garage, and I felt the impression to call up Ed and share my testimony how God delivered me from porn and alcoholism and just all kinds of stuff. And so I called his church, and the secretary there gave me his phone number. So I called him up and I said, "Hey, Reverend Ed, how are you doing? This is Ches, remember me?" Well, he sure did. He was happy to hear my voice, and I told him that you didn't know anything about me, you know, what kind of sinner I was, how bad of a porn addict, alcoholic I was back then, but I want to share my testimony with you, Ed, because maybe it'll inspire you, and all for the glory of God, you know. And he said, "Yeah, tell me, I want to hear it." So I told him what God did in my life. He transformed me and all that. Probably took me like 15 minutes. And he said, "Ches, I want to tell you this is the best phone call I've ever gotten in my life." And he said, "It's all about faith." And we prayed on the phone together. And then before the call ended, he said that there was a woman in Forest Lake dealing with the same thing that I was dealing with. And I was thinking that he's going to tell her, maybe share my testimony or something to inspire her or something. I sure hope that whatever was said, it changed that woman's life. God knows. But anyways, it was like a month or two later when I was working in the body shop, and I felt led to give Ed a call again to see how he was doing. But I called the church. I didn't call his cell phone because I would have had to dig through I didn't save his number in my phone under his name. So I just called the church and left a voicemail on the church answering machine for Ed to call me. It was a couple days later, on a Monday, the secretary from the church called me and told me that Ed had passed away a couple months ago. And I thought, what? I just couldn't believe it. I said, no way, I just talked to him not that long ago, and he had a heart attack. I think it was a heart attack that he had when he was with his family that Friday. So this guy had a good heart. He was a very big giver, heart of gold. I mean, you could read the obituary and read all about him, but I just know he had a good sense of humor. Made me laugh. But that's pretty much all I have to say. And it's a story, memory that I don't want to forget about. I figured I'm going to record it, and if it inspires you, that's wonderful. All glory to God for me encountering this guy, and he was a blessing, that's for sure. God bless you. Thanks for listening. Bye.